You're now listening to the Cerberus Gridiron Podcast. And now your hosts, Christian and Kris, powered by Cerberus Fantasy Sports.
Get it. Let's go. Welcome to the Cerberus Gridiron Podcast. This is episode 25 in the building. Big 2-5. We finally hit 2-5. I am your host, Christian _CFS, and here's your co-host, Mr. K Camp.
What up, my good people? Shalom Akim to my good people, and Shalom Akim to my bad people. May you become good, because we need that in this world. What up, man?
Man, ain't nothing, man. Just another week, another fantasy live, getting people ready for this playoff time.
Week
I know
12.
y'all can smell it. Yeah, week 12.
2 weeks, almost. 2 weeks out, not including this week?
Yeah, 2 weeks out.
Yeah.
2 weeks out. Like, got 2 more matchups up in the building. Just get you ready. Trying to stretch a little bit. Try to do some extra things that if you ain't got a good defense, you ain't got a good offense. Hey, I understand. I've been there before. And we're gonna give you some nice little hot takes, what you need to do after the trade deadline. So the segments are gonna be the PGP news. Then we're gonna go into the weekly MVP candidates. And then last but not least, we're going to break it down what you should do after the trade deadline. So we'll give examples of what I do after the trade deadline. And then I'll also let Mr. K Camp tell y'all what he does after the trade deadline.
CGPT news. CGP news.
GPT news. There was a lot of things I was going to talk about in the news, but then people start coming back.
Oh, like injuries.
Yeah, I was going to talk about like Travis Etienne going down, and then all of a sudden he came back. So I was going to talk about that, but he did pretty good. He did decent.
Yeah, I don't think he scored. Trevor had a pretty good game, but there were no injuries. I do know that Justin Jefferson, he's unlikely to play. He's not playing tomorrow, which I already said he won't come back to after their bye week, which is in 2 weeks. They have bye week next week, and so week 14 for him to come back. I don't think anyone really got hurt, which is a good thing. Hey, if our news is injuries, I don't have no news. That's the case because I want everybody healthy.
Yeah, man, I'm glad there was no injuries because that's the one thing that we do not want in fantasy. We don't want any injury bugs. And can I rant a little bit?
Please go ahead. I do it all the time, so please go ahead.
So did you see like the topic of like, I know everybody done seen this, what Justin Jefferson said about his coming back for like fantasy owners? Talking about like the fantasy owners talking about, hey man, you need to let me know if you're gonna be playing this week or not, so I could gonna put you up in my lineup. Stop it. Cut that out right there. That dude is a human being. If I'm in his shoes, I can care diddly about your fantasy league because at the end of the day, it's all about my health.
That's it.
For all the people out there you should have thought better. You should have either traded him off or you should have had a backup plan. So if you didn't have a backup plan, yep. So do better out there, everybody. Do better. These players got lives, man.
Right. Their job is not to
not to win you a champ. Well, their job is to win you a championship, but it ain't no out of means necessary.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I just had to rant about that because, man, I saw it.
No, I get it. All right, y'all taking it too far. This is fantasy. That's real life. Let's separate the two. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just had to do it. I just had to because I can't stand people that be doing that. But you got some players that actually know, hey, I play fantasy football. Like, prime example, we film this on Sundays, and we watching the Austin Eckler. Austin Eckler goes on and lets people know, like, hey, this is what you're gonna expect. I ain't gonna be coming back, so don't be expecting me to come back right now. And because things like that.
Fantasy as well.
He plays fantasy as well. Like, so I think that's kind of funny right there, but we'll go to the next segment. Your weekly MVP candidates. And what we are going to do here in this situation is it's a new segment. Just figured like we should bring it out. We're going to give an actual MVP candidates to the quarterback, a running back, your wide receiver, and then your tight end. Okay. And I really don't want to do defense or kickers because that's just me. But if you want to, we can. Okay. So co-host said we ain't.
Maybe the Eagles in San Fran, I guess, because they had blowouts, but that was a few days I can't remember. So, yeah.
So we're just going to do the positions that actually matter. Since most everybody out there that's listening, y'all do super flex. You don't have no kicker, you don't have no defense, or even if you don't do super flex, you got about like 13 starting lineups out there, positions. So what we're going to do, and at the QP position, who do you think should be the week MVP this week?
Josh Allen is my MVP for quarterback for this week. He had 339 yards, 2 touchdowns, 81 yards rushing, 2 more rushing touchdowns. If you had him in your lineup, you probably won this week. Depending on your scoring, he probably gave you anywhere from 35 to 40 to maybe 50 points. So Josh Allen is my quarterback MVP this week for sure.
Okay. Yeah. I totally would agree, especially with dealing with fantasy. But if we could throw a little zig and throw a little zag out there, the second person is also Jalen Hurts too as well. So it's not they was off by I think like 5.1 points,
something like that.
Like really close, based off the stats. And to be honest with you, as the game was going on, like I was watching this thing live, I'm looking, I'm like, this is a Buffalo type of weather game. But then at halftime, I will say about the Eagles is that they did say the Eagles is a second half team and they make adjustments.
We make adjustments, baby.
They make adjustments.
Yeah, I've seen it. We were down twice.
But they also, I think they said that stat that for the past 3 games that y'all have been down, that y'all actually won. No, that y'all was trailing going into halftime. Y'all ended up winning.
Okay.
So
we've done it a lot this year, but yeah, I know we've been down 10 points the last 2 games with Buffalo and Kansas City.
But so at the running back position, we are going to have to give that bad boy out there to Kyren Williams.
Hey,
I ain't gonna lie, dog. This dude is, if he keeps this up for the rest of the season, I wouldn't be shocked if he is up there being drafted.
Oh.
No, he's not a rookie, dog.
He's not. He's right. He came out last year.
He came out last year. But what I'm saying is that I think he's going to vault into the first round of the running backs.
Oh, being drafted. Okay, yeah, for ADP next year. Yeah. Yeah.
I can see him drafted, and I really think he's going to be drafted like pretty high up there. Maybe not with like the CMCs, but I can see him in like the back half of the first round.
And the way that McVay likes to run the ball like that, his run scheme, all he has to do, come on, Justin. All he has to do is just be healthy. That's it. He'll get his numbers and yards if he just be healthy. Coming off an injury, Now, I think they had said that like he didn't necessarily require a whole 4 weeks of IR, but they went ahead and done it just to be on the safe side. I think that was him I heard today. But yeah, 43 yards, six catches for 61 yards, two receiving touchdowns. Did he have a rushing touchdown?
Nope. He just had he just had a buck 143 up on the ground.
Yeah, he carried them to a win. So yeah, that was one of my few bets I won. Was taking the Rams. I think they were -1.5, something like that. So yeah, me taking them.
Okay. And for the MVP for the wide receiver position, do you think you can tell me who it is just by guessing, or you just want me to give it to you?
You know what? Before we go into wide receiver, I do want to give a special shout out to my Bijan Robinson. Finally had a hell of a game. You know, I don't know what he's ranked right now. I think he was like ranked 16, running back 16, but
so he was number 3. He was number 3.
Who was 2? Who was 2? Who am I missing? Who was 2?
CMC.
Oh, I slept since then. So he had a hell of a game. CMC did have like 2 touchdowns, didn't he?
Well, CMC had 2 touchdowns, but he also had a buck 14 rushing, and he had 5 catches for 25 passing yards. So I mean, not passing yards, receptions.
It looks like that Arthur Smith is going to be now giving Bijan the ball more these last 6 weeks that they have left in the season. If I'm not mistaken, I overheard them saying today on the broadcast that he was trying to limit his carries on purpose, his touches on purpose early in the season because he didn't want to wear him out, right? And so for him to be fresh the last 6-7 games of the season. So,
but that makes sense though. Like that makes sense.
I know I was trashing Arthur Smith. He's still trash because he still cost him a couple games because, like, yeah, you want him fresh, but you still also need to win the game, bro. So, in the fact that I think he was ranked running back 16 coming into this week, it was just off of touchdowns. Like he's not getting the ball in the touchdowns. He's been too cute. So, little shout out to Bijan Robinson. So to guess the wide receiver.
Yep. Guess the wide receiver. Guess the wide receiver.
As I look and cheat.
Oh, it was close.
Was it? Did anybody do better than Reek?
It was off. It was so second place. Or the second place ended up being off by 0.4. That's how close it was. So it wasn't nobody crazy going off. I'll tell you that. Like it wasn't no like dropping like 35 like the running back position. But it was like, okay, this is what I expect from my number one just to do.
Tell me, because if it's not Tyreek, I don't know.
Oh, no, it's Tyreek.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Tyreek. But then you also got to give Mike Evans some flowers too as well.
Give Mike his flowers, right? He's still doing it. Still, so he's gonna have 1,000 yards this season too again.
So MVP candidate is going to the Cheetah, and we still are. I'm hoping that he ends up breaking that 2,000 yards. But it's going to be tight.
He needs a lot more now because I think he had like a couple mediocre weeks.
Because he had 102 right now. So oh yeah, that dude gonna need a lot. He gonna have to go off at least 200 yards each game.
I don't know.
Not really. Well, how many games are left?
This
6 games
12.
left.
This is week 12. So yeah, 6 games. Justin Herbert going to the blue tent. 6 games left.
So technically, what he would need to do, he has to go for at least 110. If he can go, no, he needs at least 115, 120 up on the safe side just to get it.
A game. So you doing the math already, or do you don't need to do it?
No, I'm looking at the stats right now.
Okay,
he has
doing the math.
13.
Okay.
He's already played up in 11 games right now. He has 88 receptions on 120 targets. His yards right now is 1,324 yards on 10 touchdowns. Longest is 69 yards.
Oh, yeah.
So,
okay, yeah. 112, 113 yards a game. He needs it to hit 2,000.
Yeah, so.
That can happen.
He can do. I'm hoping that he does it before the 17th game. or like before the actual extra game, because some people are. It was like, well, technically, it really wasn't a record. They had an extra, and I'm just yapping. Hey man, the dude did 2,000 yards, man. Just gonna get that thing before the extra game. That's what I would do. But now, this one I just looked at, and I thought it might have been this person because we've already had a previous conversation about this person. But just speaking hypothetical, who is the MVP candidate that you can think of that would be for this week?
For the tight ends?
The tight end position. Because this is probably the hardest one just to do.
Is it not a Pat Frymouth who came off injury? Because I know he had over 100 yards today.
Oh yeah, dog. Heck yeah. And it was close actually again too.
Woo.
It was Pat with Tyler Higbee.
Oh, Tyler did have 2 touchdowns.
But this is also, like, not gonna lie, dog. This is Pat Freiermuth doing it without a touchdown, dog. Dude had 21 points without a touchdown. And everybody, this is a PPR format that we're giving out these MVPs and giving out. This is how we do PPR all day. But yeah, so
9 for
definitely
9
for, but yeah. So
he probably had a career day. I feel like he's never broken 100 yards. I could be wrong, but
let's go and look at it, man. Let's go and look at it. Let's see if he's ever had.
Yeah, it's like he had a career day today, coming off an injury, coming off the IR with a career day. That's what you do. So maybe firing Matt Kemp was a good thing, huh? I mean, Kenny picked up for like 250 today. He only had like a 114 last week. Yeah, some breaking.
Nope. That is a career day. That was a career high.
Right. Hey, I thought so.
Career high.
That's right.
Yes, it was.
Tyler had them 2 touchdowns.
Yep, career day. Let's go on and get ready to this next segment. And in this next segment, we have it. It's being called after the trade deadline. But this is the segment that. What do you do after the trade deadline? Like, what are some steps that you need to do to get ready either for the playoffs or to get ready for next season?
You go first. I want you to go first.
Okay. You want me to go first? So I'm going to give you a scenario of me not making the playoffs. So I'll just give not making the playoffs, and then you can give your scenario of like making the playoffs. So what I'm looking at after the trade deadline, so hopefully before the trade deadline was going forward, you ended up trading away some of your key players, some of your players that you physically wanted to keep on your team, that you see a big future as. So I'll just give you my starting lineup on my team. I'll just say that this team ended up losing, which they didn't. But just for an example, my starting QB is Patrick Mahomes. My 2 running backs are JT and Christian McCaffrey. My 2 wide receivers are CeeDee Lamb and Amon-Ra St. Brown. My tight end right now is Sam Laporta. And
right now, what does that mean? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Because I did have Mark Andrews, but he got hurt. So,
okay.
So right now it's Sam Laporta. My flex position, this is where I'm juggling it right now because it is quite difficult because it's supposed to be Cooper Kupp, but he ain't showing that he's a flex option. And since he's not showing that he's a flex option, I'm actually going to have to take him out and put in either Ramondre Stevenson or DeAndre Swift. So one of those two. And then just for people to know, like if they got like a kicker or a defense, like my defense is Kansas City and my kicker is Jake Moody from San Francisco. So if I'm looking at my team right now, the first thing that I'm looking at and I'm accessing my team, I'm seeing who is the most valuable piece on my team and if I should trade them away or can I build a future with them. So from the key positions, I'm going to keep Sam Laporta because we all know it's hard to find a tight end.
Tough.
But you can find good wide receivers.
Mm-hmm.
So either I'm going to trade away either CD Lamb or I'm going to trade away Almond Ra just so I can get capital, like draft capital. Just if my team is if my team is in bare minimum, that's what I'm doing. I'm trading off some of my horses, CD, Almond Ra, and then I'll probably trade off JT because he's a younger stud. So many people, or probably might trade off CMC depending on how I'm feeling. Because everybody already knows CMC is him, especially up in this offense. The next thing that I am also doing is I am looking at mock drafts. Me personally, I start looking right now, even if it's pre. So that's about like 4 pre's before the actual draft. And the reason why I do it now is just so I can understand what players are coming out and then what players teams might end up going to. So I'll start getting a list, and I'll get a list of all my draft picks too as well. Some leagues out there, I know that you are, if you're in a full dynasty league, I know you probably still able to trade. So you can still make trades like that just to get your team better for next year. But you also can look at and get ready for the previous or the future by looking at those pre-mock drafts, seeing where Caleb Williams is going to follow if you need a QB, see where Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to fall potentially, and see what other good either running backs or tight ends that you think, and then just start doing your research on them. Just get a list of top 10 QBs, top 25 running backs, top 25 wide receivers, and then top 10 tight ends. That's what I do every year. And I really start looking at, I go and look at their actual game film, and I physically sit down and I break it down, seeing I have like a list and I have a different, we'll go over that during the offseason. But I look at the game film and I pick out particular games on when they did good and actually when they did bad as well. And just so I can get a view of how this player actually performed. And I try to study the game deeply as looking at the offense, looking at what they're running and seeing how this will go, how this will actually help out a team up in the NFL. So that's what I do if I am a team that actually is a loser who's going to the losers bracket and ain't getting nothing out of it. That's what I do. That's what I do right now. I'm trying to get ready for next year. And when I mean I'm trying to get ready for next year, I'm not trying to be up in that same spot next year. Like I'm grinding, looking at players, talking to other GMs, being engaged, saying like, hey, I might be out of it, but do you have any players that you're willing to trade away? Like I'm looking to get picks up in return. My team didn't do too well last year, but this is what I'm trying to do. And just keep talking to the communication with owners, because I know some people out there, y'all are in leagues that it is very difficult just to talk to some people. But just to try to start a conversation, and the more conversations that you have with other people can also help you out in making certain trades with that particular person, because you know their tendencies, you know what they like, you know what they don't like. And then it makes it actually easier. Yep.
Keep the lines of communication open.
Yep. And pretty much that's all that I can really think of what I would end up doing if I was a loser by looking at him.
So that's obvious. So now tell me what you do if your team is in the playoffs. Because to me, what you said, you're a whole lot obvious. I want to know what you do now that your team is in the playoffs.
Nah, dog, you gonna go, man. You tell me what you do with your team. I just gave the loser's perspective. Now you
that's
give me the
easy. What you gave me? What you gave was obvious. That's obvious.
Well, technically, it's not obvious. Well, a lot of people don't do that.
A lot of people not doing that. I think you're in the wrong. You're in the wrong business. A lot of people is
not gonna do that though. Like we got like 4 or 5 people up in our league right now, dog. They don't even do that. And they wait until 2 weeks.
And in the words of Yoda, that is why they fail. That is why they fail. I mean, if you're not doing, I remember when the year that I got Jamar Chase that year, I had started doing research like week 8 because I knew my team was garbage. Like I was doing so much rookie research. I had a list. I had projections. I did so much research. Yeah. Week 8 in the season, not week 12 where we at now. So yeah, if you're not doing that, I don't know what y'all doing for the listeners out there. Also, if you're listening, please subscribe, like, give us 5 stars. Feedback is a gift. We are on all platforms where you can listen to podcasts. We're also on YouTube where you can visually see our faces. So yeah, please like, subscribe, hit those buttons for us. So okay,
they all free, dog. They free. It's free just to daggone hit a button. It's free to give us a comment. Let us help you.
We do.
Let's get some communication going on.
What do I do? So, I'm in 3 dynasty leagues, and all 3 of them I'm making the playoffs. What I do, I'm trying to find, which is what I do, I guess every week, is to find the best optimal lineup. Is to get my lineup in check, right? To find it, because I don't want to get to the playoffs and I'm having to think like, okay, oh my goodness, he playing this person is going up against this team. Honestly, I don't look at all that because I know I try to get all stars. I try to get all studs. I try to get everybody stars in my lineup who I say, okay, you can't bench him, you can't sit him. No, we got to ride with him. So I don't necessarily look at who the team is playing. I don't look at, they're ranked 4 against wide receivers in defense. They're this, they're that. Me personally, I know some people do. I don't look at none of that because none of that happens. My job is to put the best optimal. I don't even care who I'm playing. That's as far as I go. I don't care who I'm playing. My job is to put the best optimal lineup of my team out there because I don't want to look at my bench and see, damn, I got Tank Dell on the bench and I started Adam Thielen, and Adam Thielen had 1 catch today, and Tank Dell had 5 for 50 and a touchdown. I didn't start him. I only want to have that. I want to put the best lineup that I can, and maybe that does do some research and looking at, who's going up against who, right? I mean, I did not see Adam Thielen. I know that Tennessee has a good run defense, but I know their pass defense obviously shut them down. But they're just the Panthers are just garbage this year. So, but I didn't think that Adam Thielen only had 1 catch today. I didn't start him in my lineup today, but that's just because I just kind of felt. I guess I felt that I knew he couldn't keep up with that production that he had at the beginning of the season. I knew that would tail off. He couldn't keep it with that. The Panthers are garbage, so I couldn't keep riding him as my flex. So I didn't start him this week. But I don't want to trying to debate between should I start him, should I not start him when the playoffs start. I'm trying to figure out the best optimal lineup that I can to start those 3 weeks of the playoffs if I'm in the playoffs. And like I said, I guess that does go into me looking at who they're playing, who's this, that against defenses. But usually I'm only having that issue when it comes down to like a flex position because usually my quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, and tight end, they're set. I thought the same people every single week. And I just pray that you go off this week, these 3 weeks that I'm in the playoffs. Or if I have a bye week, those 2 weeks I'm in the playoffs. So that's my strategy. That strategy I'm going to use in these playoffs when they happen in 2 weeks.
Okay. So my strategy and what I do, your boy be in these streets, dog, in these calendar streets, looking at these schedules.
Even schedules. See, I don't.
Oh, yeah. I be looking at the schedules, dog. I'll be looking at them just so I understand like what matchups. Yeah, you can have a stud lineup. My situation, I got too many studs. So I got studs that are actually on the bench. Some people say
that's a good problem to have.
I got 4 or 5 studs up on the bench that I can't do nothing with. So
can't start them all.
Can't start them all. That's why if you in leagues, make sure you put as many flexes as possible and then try to get as much stuff passed so you can play as many as your studs.
No.
But
Don't do that. To Christian's point, if you got that many, you need to be looking at who you playing against because you try to put the best optimal lineup out there.
So what I'm doing is I start this research probably everybody out there, like I'm dead serious. Like I start this probably in like week 8. And I start looking at, if I know my team is going to be a playoff team, I'm looking at in week 8. I'm looking at, okay, because I know the trade deadline's coming up, which team is going to have a favorable matchup in the playoff time. Can I see myself making the playoffs and making a run with one of these players? And if the player that I'm looking for, example this year, I think bold prediction that one of the top running backs in the playoffs for fantasy will be DeAndre Swift. I really think he might be the key to winning some people championships. So
I don't know. Who does Philly play the last 3 weeks of the season? Well, 15, 16, and 17.
So 15, 16, and 17. Philly they play Seattle, New York, and Arizona.
New York who?
New York Giants.
Gotta be Giants off the NFC East. And they play Arizona. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So
I mean, we just saw Kieran have a big day on Arizona. So
that's one thing that I'm looking at whenever I see that. It gets tricky when it comes to like wide receivers and things like that, because the wide receivers can have big games, but I'm also trying to start my studs too and just set it and forget it. Like if my stud plays, I'm not going to take out a stud out of my lineup. Don't get
cute. There you go.
I mean, don't be getting cute and everything, looking at your lineup, trying to finesse some people and trying to see, hey, I'm about to get real cute. I'm going to put in this. Let me just throw in Calvin Ridley right up in here because he has a good lineup. And then Calvin Ridley gets you about 3 points. You're going to be hot.
Mm-hmm.
Hot because you done lost that championship. So that's one thing I do. I look at the schedule. I also look at my opponents too, just so I know who I'm going to be playing up against. And it's really not like no fear of the opponents. It's really just knowing like, oh, nah, never that. Okay. Never fear.
Okay. I mean, you looking. I'm just curious why you looking, but okay, go ahead.
And it's just so you know, like what they have up on their team and things like that. Just like the co-host said, he doesn't look to see who's up on the lineup. With me, I do the opposite. I zig when other people zag. So I just want to see what you're working with over there. So
I look at it one time. I look at it one time. When I set who I feel like is the optimal lineup for me, I'll look at the projection one time. Like, oh, okay, I'm projecting less or I'm projecting more. And it didn't really change anything for me. I don't take somebody out if it's projection. I don't even care. Don't even care. Like I don't go down, screw down. Okay. I don't look at none of that because I feel like I have the best team out there, right? So I feel like once I put my optimal lineup and they perform, no matter who I play.
Mm-hmm. So that's what I do. I don't get all, well, I used to, but currently right now, I don't get all in the depths of like the stats. Actually, let me stop lying. I do.
Okay. Keep it honest now. Keep it a buck.
I do. I get, this year I haven't because
Justin Tucker missed the kick.
But I haven't got as deep into stats wise when it comes to this, but there are some guys out there that I do be going for, trying to pick out like a big lineup just to do, but we'll see what ends up happening. Don't know what could happen up in these playoff streets. Got a lot of favorable matchups. Anything else that you can think of that you would do after the trade deadline?
Honestly, nah. Don't fuck up. Just keep it a buck. Don't mess up, man. Don't try to be cute. Don't try to overthink it, man. I know you're gonna put like, I should have. Like today, I was like, I was, and I probably could have done it today. I could have rolled the dice today because I was playing a team that I was like, okay, I should beat this team. when I set my line. I was like, I should get this team. Okay, there, whatever. And I thought for a minute about putting Michael Pittman in my flex position over, I think, DJ Moore or over Jamar Chase because Joe Burrow's hurt. I thought about it, but at the end of the day, and I still put in DJ Moore and I still put in Jamar Chase. And Michael Pittman had 10 catches a day for a buck, whatever. And I had, where is he at? I had 23 points in on my bench. So yeah, I don't want to have to do that when the playoffs start. I want to know who I'm starting. I want to kind of figure out my lineup, figure out who I'm starting. So I know my flex position is the position that I would substitute the most in because I'm starting Diggs and I'm going to ride with Jamar Chase. That's probably what I'm going to do. I cannot see me benching him. Even with Jake Browning.
The thing about it is that so whenever I'm a GM of my teams, and I know you just had that hit. Okay, yeah, I know what his floor is whenever he did have Burrow, but I'm just going to drop him down. Hey, Jamar, and it'd be funny. Like, how many people out there actually be talking to y'all players? Put up in the comments because I know there are some people out there that be trying to have conversations with their players, like it's going to help them out. And actually get them focused.
Man, LeBron, I need you to shine today.
Talk about, hey man, all right, y'all, let's go get into it. Patrick,
I ain't talking to Jamar Chase. I'm talking to Jake Browning. I'm talking to his ass because I know what Jamar can do. I know. I'm not talking about Jamar. We bring it every week if we can. Just give him the damn ball. Or Keyshawn say, I'm always open. He's 7'11", so it ain't him. It's Jake Browning. But yeah, I cut you off. Go ahead.
Nah, you good. Like with Browning, like being the QB. Okay, I know Jamar he ain't coming out of the lineup because the only thing I can ask for you to do is give me double digits. Just give me double digits. That's the only thing I'm asking for. I don't need you to give me 25 because I know you ain't gonna be able to give me 25 like you used to, unless you get force fed. And depending on some of the matchups, you might get force fed. But
I'm just going. Hope my defense or somebody else take up your slack that you can't get me.
Yep.
Ride with who brought you there. You're not in that position for no reason, so ride with them. I gotta ride with my horses.
Yeah, man. You gotta ride with them, dog.
But yeah, that's all I got, man. Quick one.
Yeah, quick one. It's probably the fastest one that we ever had.
I don't think we got one under 50 minutes. So yeah. So we appreciate y'all for joining. We do. We know you could have been anywhere in the world, but you were here with us, and we appreciate that. So y'all spread love, not hate, please.
Yep. And please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and tell all your buddies, and give us a 5-star ratings. And stay tuned to the after show, which is technically the actual bloopers. So look at the bloopers and then tell us how those bloopers were. And like the co-host said, spread love, not hate. And we out.
Peace. CGPT News. CGP News.
GPT News. Or like before the actual extra game, because some people are. It was like, well, technically, it really wasn't a record. They had an extra. Nah, dog, you gonna go, man. You tell me what you do with your team. I just gave the loser's perspective. Now you
that's
give me the
easy. What you gave me. What you gave was obvious. That's obvious.
Well, technically, it's not obvious. Well, a lot of people don't do that. A lot of people
not doing that. I think you're in the wrong. You're in the wrong business. A lot of people
is not going to do that though. Like, we got like 4 or 5 people up in that league right now, dog. They don't even do that. And they wait until 2 weeks.
And in the words of Yoda, that is why they fail. That is why they fail.
That is why you fail.
Anything else that you can think of that you would do after the trade deadline?
Honestly, nah. Don't fuck up.
Don't fuck it up.
Don't fuck it up.
Don't fuck it up.
So don't go fuck it up.
Don't fuck it up. Don't fuck it up.
Don't fuck it up. Don't fuck it up. I won't.
About Marvin Harrison Jr. I think he's going to go to the Cardinals because they're most likely going to be number 2. But I could see the Cardinals trying to get more pieces built around Kyler and trading that pick out for like a QB. So he might do similar to like what Bijan did. He fell because technically Bijan should have been taken up in like the top 5. But, all them QBs are up there. So instead of him doing that, he ended up falling to the Falcons, and the Falcons just took him at 7.
8,
whatever. It was top 10.
It was top 10. But, yes, I see you're right. But if I'm the Cardinals, I'm thinking I'm going to try to move back, get more picks, and get Marvin Harrison, right? So, like, I'm not moving back too far. Let's say I'm at 2, right? You said the Bears at 1. I'm the Cardinals. I'm at 2. We'll move back
Bears
to
gonna be at like 3.
Who's
I ain't
one?
gonna lie, dog. Oh, the Bears at 1. Remember they got Carolina's pick.
So the
Bears at 1.
Well, you saying 1 and 3. Oh, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Let's say right. Let's say I'm the Cardinals. I'm at 2. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying I'm the Cardinals.
Yeah.
I'm at 2. If I'm the Cardinals, I'm going to try to move back and still get Marvin Harrison, right? So maybe you move back from 2 to 5, 6, right? You don't want to move right in your face. You don't want to move back too far. You're very correct. But there are some good, you got
I ain't gonna lie,
quarterbacks.
I ain't gonna lie, dog.
You think he'll? Man,
so this is what. So I'm not gonna lie, dog. This is what
there's some talent out there, even on the offensive lineman. Even on the offensive line, there's some good.
That's the reason why I said this. That's the reason why I said this is what I would do, dog. So if I am Chicago, I'm trading out of 1.01. Well, it depends. So it's two scenarios right here. It's 2 scenarios.
Yeah.
It's 2 scenarios. It's either they think Justin Fields can produce, and he's just missing one key piece. Or
which is what?
They gonna just maybe another wide receiver, maybe a wide receiver, running back. I mean, not running back, but offensive line, which he's never had.
I think I don't. Let me say this. How do I say this? What I think
organization stinks.
They're dysfunctional, right? What they that's why I want to say what I think they're gonna do, because I'm gonna just say what they should do. They should get rid of the defensive coordinator, the offensive coordinator. Get rid of everybody. Got to go. And if they want to keep Justin Fields, fine. If not, that's fine too, right? And so you get your quarterback, and you get your old lineman at 3, right? Get your quarterback at 1, get your old lineman at 3. New OC, new DC, new everybody, and then you go like that, right? You got yourself a number 1, DJ Morris there.
So that's the reason why I said they're in a good place here. So I would get my.
They're gonna fuck it up. They're gonna fuck it up, Christian. They because they.
So that's the reason why I said
it's
like. That's why I said it depends on like what they want to do. Like they could either go with.
Why they do something?
They go with just like. I really think they could pull that daggone Andy Dalton type of deal.
Oh, get the wide receiver, get the quarterback at 30 or something like that. What are you saying?
Like pull up into like the later back end, and then get your QB. Because there are some studs that should be coming out. But personally, like, so what if they ended up going some QBs? Like, there's 8 of them, but
right.
Your analogy is there's 8 going out, only about 3 of them gonna hit. So
that's it. Only 3 gonna hit. And I'm gonna tell you something. But here's what they're gonna do. Chicago, they're gonna trade or get rid of Justin Fields, and they're gonna
trade Justin Fields.
They're gonna keep that OC. They're gonna keep that head coach. That's what they're gonna do. And they're just gonna get rid of Justin Fields, and they're just gonna draft the quarterback. They're gonna draft the quarterback. Which, if that happens,
they need to fire.
I agree. I don't want no parts of that quarterback at that organization. I don't want no parts of it. Nope. I don't want no parts.
Unless they bringing in a daggone guru for like offensive coordinator or something.
Man, I'm telling you, they're going to keep the regime and they're going to trade Justin Fields because the head coach in the regime will be like, we didn't draft him. He's not our guy. We have an out. So we don't want him anyway. Let's get the quarterback we want. And now they still might get a offensive coordinator. I mean, they still might get a quarterback at 1 and a left tackle at 3. Which at best that's what they'll do. But they didn't clean. I would clean house personally. I would clean house. But watch they keep their head coach and their OC. Watch they keep them intact. That's because they're dysfunctional. They're stupid. They believe in defense, and this is the offensive league. And if you look at all the defensive coaches who are struggling, I mean, teams who are struggling, they're defensive teams. Buffalo Bills, the Pittsburgh Steelers, they won today. The Chicago Bears. Who else?
The Bills,
the Cardinals. The Cardinals. But irregardless, in the words of my sister-in-law, they would have been 6-6. There's somebody else is down there at the bottom who got a defense. This is the Patriots. Like, just look, man. I'm sorry, defensive coordinators. You guys are not head coaches. It's offensive league. Unless you got a hell of an OC. I don't want no parts of no defensive head coach. Todd Bowles, he can't get his side of the ball right down there. It's just, yeah.
Hey, man, we getting some
nice we getting off track. We got all summer to talk about this all season because it's going to be talking about the topic of conversation. I'm looking forward to it. I've also decided that I'm not making my predictions until I see where people go in team.
Nah, dog. You gotta make bold predictions, dog.
I'm not. No, I'm not going to set myself up for failure. Like I'm out here giving advice, and I'm out here looking boo boo. No, I can't put my name on that. I cannot put my name on that. Yeah, I'm going to wait to see where the team goes because I don't want to give my insight away, right? Of why I'm waiting, which it's not hard, but. Yeah, after this year, I'm just like, I saw some stuff like, what, I'm just going to wait and see where these people go. And then I'll be able to make some type of prediction, my decisions. Even goes to who I'm drafting. That's why another reason why I want to wait until I see where people go. Now, Marvin Harrison going to the Cardinals, they have a defensive head coach. I do think that with Kyler, I do think he's still going to thrive. I still think that. I think he can be. You have an AJ Green first year, so I do still think that. But yeah, I want to see where they go.
Thanks for checking out another episode of Cerberus Gridiron Podcast, powered by Cerberus Fantasy Sports. Make sure you stay tuned for the next episode.